Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to everyone. Okay, so thank you for joining us for today's Kate Lead Cafe series Sulam issue, where we'll be exploring a topic related to Sulam entitled Sulam Unfiltered: What Students Really Think. Okay. All right. Okay. So before we get started today, before we get started with the webinar session today, all right, please allow me to briefly introduce myself. I am Associate Professor Dr. Martini binti Muhammad Yusof from the Department of Agriculture, Department of Crop Science, sorry. Tersasul lah siang-siang hari ni. From the Department of Crop Science, Faculty of Agriculture, UPM. And I am grateful for the opportunity given to me today to be your moderator for these sessions. Okay? All right. So this afternoon, our topic is on the student involvement, okay, in the SULAM, or Service Learning Malaysia University for Society. Okay? So as we know that SULAM is a national initiative that combines the academic learning with community engagement. Okay, so it encourages students to apply their classroom knowledge in real life community setting, while also developing soft skills and also the social responsibility. All right. So our speakers today, okay, will share in details their authentic experience, the type of the activities, yeah, that were involved, okay, and insight from their journey implementing Sulam projects throughout their studies, okay, at the Faculty of Agriculture, UPM. Okay, so they will talk about what they did, okay, what they learned, and how their projects impacted to the communities they engage with. Okay, so it is very interesting session today. All right. And I am truly honored to be joined by the three students today who have successfully carried out Sulam programs. Okay, so some of them have even not have even been involved in more than one Sulam project. Okay, by using the different methods and approach tailored to the specific needs to their respective communities. Okay. And before we begin, I would like to introduce our three speakers today. Okay, maybe Anas, you can share. All right. Okay, so today we have the first speaker is Miss Nurhana Damia Nur Akmal. At the moment, she's in a year 4. Basically she already completed all of her final year project, including the practical, including the industrial practical, and waiting to be for the graduations. Will be graduated soon. Okay, and all of our three speakers today, all of them, they are in the same program, which is in Bachelor in Horticultural Science with honor. Okay, in our faculty, all right. So Nurhana will share her project title, Pemindahan Ilmu Melalui Sulam. Okay. The second one, we have Miss Nur Anis Farhana Nazri. She's in year 4, all right, but she's not completed her study yet. Still doing her final year project, FYPB, okay, and her project title, program, a nature at SK Jalan 4 Bangi, okay. And finally, we have Mr. Gabriel Leslie. He's in year 3, okay, also in the same program, okay, Bachelor in Horticulture Science. And his project title is The Green Thumb Tribes, all right? Okay, so, all right, so we are so excited to hear this Sulam experience from you guys, all right? So now, without further delay, I would like to invite our first speaker today, Miss Nurhana Dania Nur Akmal, to share her experience with the Sulam project she was involved in. Okay, so Hannah, the screen is yours, Hannah. You can start your presentation now, Hannah.
All right, thank you, Doctor, for the
All right.
invitation. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, my name is Hannah, and I would like to just briefly share about my Team Sulam program, which conducted under the course of HRT 4804, which is Medicinal Plant and Herbs. It's actually a two-credit theory course taught by Dr. Juju Nakasha Jaafar, and our program is just a simple one. We just held it at the Faculty of Agriculture UPM, only half day, which is from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Simple one. So our program just involve all of our student class, which is 21 students, and we're working together with 40 participants from the urban farm community that are registered under Jabatan Perpaduan Negara dan Integrasi Nasional, JAPININ. And our main aim of the program was to share our us students' creation of value-added product, which we only using two types of herbs grown by the community. So the idea was to demonstrate how these products can be easily produced using home-based equipment. So the community can actually adopt and replicate them on their own. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so before the program day, actually for the pre-program, students went through some several preparation stages, which is are unseen by the community. Which is first one, we need to selection of local herb with where each group need to in my class we have 31 person, so we were divided into five groups, and each group need to identify two herbs that the urban farm community already grow or that they could potentially introduce in the future. Example include lemongrass, basil, mint, and also turmeric leaves. Next one is the product creation. In this part, students need to develop new or improve products such as herbal tea blends, infused oils, balm, natural cleaners, seasoning mixes, and also drinks. All are designed to highlight the unique qualities and benefits of the selected herbs, which were required in our subject also. Next one, we need to uh we need to create a simple home-based production, which is all the process were designed to be easy to replicate using common kitchen tools like blenders, strainers, stoves, and jars, aiming that everyone and anyone can do our project. And also weekly progress was reported in class for feedback and improvement. And at the final week before the program start, we finalize the product and submit to Dr. Juju for her approval. So afterwards, then we do some documentation and also prepare for our presentation for the program, which each of our group will prepare short slides and also video to explain their products. Like there's a short real video like for 30 second to 1 minute plus minus, covering the ingredient, the process, equipment use, and also the potential basic benefits. Basically, it's just a short tutorial video that you can see like in TikTok, in Reels, something like that. Just a simple and engaging one. Then on the program day, we carried out the community collaboration activities, where the student will showcase their final product at a mini exhibition, where the Urban Farm committee members can visit each of the student booth to learn more about the product. And student also listen to feedback from the community regarding the sustainability, the taste, practically, and potential of the product. So basically, it started with the early presentation by the students. Then during the presentation, the community will watch the video and hear a bit of our presentation on the product that we made. Then after this session, then they will go to our booth to just mingle around and ask around if they can implement our product in their community back. So this interaction actually allow student ourselves to learn directly from the community about the herbs uses, their availability and preference, while the community also got to explore new ways of adding value to their existing crops, like that. So and now to give a better picture of the outcome, next slide, please. Okay, this one is some of the product created by our student during the Sulam program. So like I already mentioned before, all of these products will consist of two or more herbs that were created, and basically we do the whole product itself, from the formulation to the product packaging, and also we can see the marketing value lah. So there are lip oil, herbal tea, body scrub, scented candle, and also balm created by the student itself only for 1 semester. Like that. So I think that is just a briefly of what me and my classmate do on our sulam. Like this is one of our project that we did. Okay, back to doctor.
Dr. Martini muted.
Muted. Alamak. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Thank you very much, Miss Hannah, for your comprehensive sharing, on how the Sulam program was carried out. So in your case, uh, you yourself, with your friends, get involved, with the creations of the new products by using only two types of the herbs, two types of the very interesting, Hannah. So you share with us, starting from the planning stage right through to the implementation phase. Very good. All right. So now let us move to the second speaker, Miss Anis Fahana.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. So I hope my voice are very clear.
Yes,
So
yes, we can hear you clearly.
okay, good. Thank you, Doctor. So my name is Nurul Anis Fahana, and I'm going to tell about my Sulam program that I have managed during my second year of study. So the Sulam program I participate in is for the class of vegetable production, which is HRT 3410, and this course we actually 3 credit, 2 hours, 2 credit hour for theory class, and we have 1 credit hour which is for practical on the field. And our lecturer is Dr. Jujuna Kasha also, and we have about 43 students in the class. And our program named as a nurture, and it is happen in Sekolah Kebangsaan Jalan 4 Bangi. Uh, um, so this program is happening for the almost half day, a little bit more half day lah, because we start from 7:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. The reason why we have to start early at 7:30 because children in school went to school very early. They already gather at the tapak penghimpunan at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. is actually the time where we already came back to the campus. So in this program, we have about 18 students from standard 5 ataupun darjah 5 lah. The reason why we choose this audience or this participant is we have to consider the capability of the student to receive our message, to receive our knowledge that we wanted to transfer. Because later, if we take the very young children, sometimes it hurts for them to understand what we're going to tell them, and also the capability of us to teaching these children. Why not standard 6 student? Because at that time they are having a ujian time tu. And the objective of our program is we have two main objectives, which is we wanted to introduce to them the concept of urban farming. So we have a lot of urban farming concept. So we have 43 students in our class. So we divided into 9 to 10 groups, and each group must bring their own idea regarding the problem that we have defined here. So doing the concept of urban farming, we also add with the concept of reusing recycled materials. And the second objective for our program is we want to encourage these children to have more interest in cultivation and eating healthy vegetables. And this program, we do a lot of activity. One of it is we do a fun games, and the fun games is very within the 10 groups. So some groups are doing quizzes, some groups are doing like games, little games, and many more. And beside the fun games, we also have a tutorial session where we do the practical session on building the urban farming system. And also, for my group especially, we created a vertical garden system for a Brazilian spinach. And actually the Brazilian spinach, we propagate it using a cutting. And the system also being created using the recycled material as much as possible. And the last one, we also do the demonstration on how to prepare unique dishes based on healthy vegetables. For my group, we do a sandwich, and the sandwich we put on Brazilian spinach also. And before doing this program, we do the planning very, very careful. In the first time, we do the brainstorming session within the class and after the class session together with doctor. And after we receive the problem statement, we gather together and think on how we could think on what we can do and teach the children. So the ideas that we get, we presented to the lecturer, we present to Dr. Juju, and then Dr. Juju will help us to give advice and improvement any way that we could. And then because of this program is going to be outside the UPM, so we need to go for site survey. So each of our group need to send a representative to go together to the school and take a look at the place that we're going to do the activities. And this site survey also need to be accompanied by the lecturer also, and because the one that will communicate with the schools is the lecturer. And then after everything is confirmed, we have to start to prepare the materials and plan the strategy, which is very strategy that could be very efficient to make the knowledge transfer process become very smooth on the event day. And before, like nearly to the event day, we have to do the demonstration or rehearsal. This rehearsal we do because we want to make sure that we get the real, we can imagine how will the student will react on the actual day, because it is our first time managing a children's school. So we need to expect things beforehand so that we can decrease any unexpected event happening later. And after that, on that day, during the project implementation, we had to do a very impactful introduction. This means that during the briefing or ice breaking, we have to do a lot of things like that could get their trust and interest. Like we need to do fun activities, like we do the cheers, chanting. We also tell them that we're going to have reward at the end of this program so that they can focus longer in that program and they become very excited for us, because it's also our first time meeting them and they also first time meeting us. And then through this, we could deliver the objective precisely to them so that they understand why are we doing this program with them, why are we teaching them to build the system of urban farming here, why are we cooking for them. We want to tell them so that they understand. And the demonstration during the practical, we need to have an active participation within the children also. This means that we cannot just okay, everyone listen, we will tell you, no, we cannot do that. We have to, while we doing the demonstration, they need to do it together with us, hands-on activity like that. And then after the program ended, we have to follow up with them. So after a week of the program, a week later, we came back to the school and take a look at the system that we have built together. And besides that, we also need to monitor them. We monitor them by contacting them through WhatsApp and calls and any other ways that we can. So the follow-up session is very important because we want to make sure that the children understand, even though they cannot understand fully, at least they get the main idea on how to cultivate vegetables. And these are the few pictures that happened during the event. So this is the briefing session, and we do an exercise senam aerobic, so we can increase the energy to get a very high energy, so that they get very excited until the end. And then this is the especially my group, we implementing the concept of naming ourselves. We as a facilitator, we put a fake name because we wanted to increase the engagement within us and the children as well. Because this is a class of vegetable, we want them to know and get familiar with vegetables. At least they remember our name and they remember the vegetables name. So for example, we put our name as Teacher Chili, and also my friend have another names like Teacher Pak Choy, Teacher Toge, and many more. And this is the vertical garden system of Bayam Brazil. And actually, this is our sketch that we had to present to lecturer before we implement the project. Before we collect the materials, we need to present to doctor what are we going to do. So this is only the draft, and then this is the final product on our vertical farming system. So this is actually a bicycle rim that we collect from a kawasan barang terpakai, and this is a bottle also recycle. And you see this is the student, they are putting the spinach Brazil into the media, and actually they are very excited because they never knew that Brazil can be planted using cuttings only. So it is a pleasure for us to introduce to them that vegetable can also be grown by using a small cuttings. So beside that, you can also see this is one big poster. This is actually we have the initiative to make this big book so that the children will have a guide to take care of this plant. So we don't just do it together and then we left them. We need to give them the guide as well. And then this is the final product of other groups also. This group are doing a soilless fertigation system, and they also using a item that can be recycled, like the tong, and this is a old water pipe and many more. And this group are doing a hydroponic. They also recycle plastic bottle as well. And other groups like this are very unique. They are doing a compost tower. And another one here, this group having to put a lot of much effort because I saw my friend, they need to go to the field of Ladang 10 to cut the bamboo. So this one is very interesting and they put a lot of effort for this plant shaft using a bamboo sticks. And this is the session where we do the demonstration for preparing the sandwich of Bayam Brazil. And that is the last. This is how the crowd of our program is. There are so many of them, and yeah, and I'm very happy that they are very excited until the end of the program, even though our program quite long since morning until the end their day of the schools. And I think that is all about my Sulam program.
MashaAllah, very interesting, Miss Anis Farhana. Okay, very, very interesting. So you introduce to them the concept of the urban farming. Okay, so in the concept of urban farming, you guys you come out with the various of the interesting and the creative ideas. Yeah, they're very interesting because you use the recycle materials, right? To develop using the recycled materials to develop the vertical system. Okay, and you teach you also not only introduce them the concept of urban farming, but inside there is so many activities like compost tower, plant chef using the bamboo. Mashallah, it's very, very interesting. And it's also very, very, I think, make them truly happy because you also get involved with the cooking sessions. That one is to make them more interested to the program. It's really not truly good program activity, and it's well done. All right. So next we move to our the last speaker today, Mr. Gabriel, with the project the Green Thumb Tribes. Okay, Mr. Gabriel, the screen is yours.
All right. Hello, Doctor. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you, Doctor, for the invitation. All right. Briefly, my Sulam project was entitled The Green Thumb Tribe under the course Vegetable Production, HRT 3410, taught by Dr. Juju Nakasha on my third semester. This project involved 50 horticulture students and was participated by 39 children with autism, ranging age from 5 to 12 years old from the autism community of Masjid Kampung Tunku, Kuala Lumpur. This program took place at the Faculty of Agriculture UPM itself from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. 4 hours is more than enough to engage and play with them and to run this project, as if it's too long, the autism children will distracted with the other thing around them and they lost interest in our project. All right, this project is aimed to develop interest and curiosity in agriculture, especially in vegetables, among the autistic children through engaging and fun hands-on activities. The children that we have invited were divided into small groups. Each consists of 5 facilitators and 3 to 4 autism children in each group with same age. Example, around the first group have 3 to 4 participants with their age 5 to 6 years old in the same team. Every group are conducted with 2 different activities. During that day, during this project, there are lots of activities that we do. Basically, it depends on each group. And from what I remember, there are vegetable cultivation, seedling preparation, coloring session, and microgreen production, which we try to suit every age gap. Right. Not only that, the Green Thumb Tribes aim to enhance students' soft skills, including me, through interactive and age-appropriate group activities. Luckily, my mother was a kindergarten teacher, so it's not hard for me to find any fun activities for them. But the activities need to be proposed to our lecturer first before we run it to the community. And this project also aims to foster empathy and social responsibility among us as the university student by involving ourselves in meaningful community engagement with special needs children. All right, Anis, can we move to the next slide, please? All right, before the Green Thumb Tribe was run during on 11 January, we have a project planning. First, we have a group division when we receive the list name, we directly divided them into 10 groups by age, each guided by 4 until 5 facilitators, which the facilitators is ourselves, which is me and my classmate. After that, each group need to brainstorming 2 different activities on what activities will we do and what will we give to the autism children. We have to discuss and plan suitable vegetable theme activities in the class and propose it to Dr. Juju first, our lecturer. And then in the next class, we have idea presentation where we present the ideas to the lecturers and to all the classmates for feedback and improvement. So we will have what we need to improve, what we need to add, or if our activity need to change or everything. Then a week before, 3 weeks before the project, all group must collect the materials and we need to prepare our venue for the program which held at Agriculture Faculty. We need to make sure that the area that we use are safe for the autism children. And we also have demonstration on the second week before the project, which we're doing a demo in class fully, like it was, we doing it as real as possible. and we have a final review from our lecturers before the actual event. All right, Anis, can we move the next slides? Then, during the day, before we start our project, we have a sharing session between the participant and with their parents. Me as the project leader, I have clearly shared what will we do and why it matters, why each activity matters for their kids. So everyone, especially their parents, understand the goal of each activity that we do. After that, when we start the activity, we start it with a kickstart with energy, where we begin it with fun cheers and chants to hype everyone up, especially the children. We also prepare some stickers to hype them up. If they're doing a good job or doing a good things, we will reward them with a star stickers. Then during the project, learn by doing, we combine demonstration and hands-on activity before each group start their activities. We let the kids color, sowing seeds, and to explore what vegetables in an interactive way with guidance from us, the facilitators, and with their parents. After the project ends, reflection and follow-up is a must, because as a student, we need to know what can we improve in future and if our objective successfully or not. Right. Anis, can we move to the next slides? All right. This is my team handling autism children, age 5 to 6. At first picture, we have coloring session, which is a Farid. The boy's name Farid. He's clearly very talkative and very smart kids. And he's doing a very good job coloring. Even he give a shading to the colors. Then we have Faiz, where my teammates help him to growing microgreens from green mustard seeds. All right. I think that's all briefly sharing from my project.
Okay, all right. Okay. I think your project, your Sulam project is a bit different, isn't it? It's quite special in comparison to Miss Hannah and also Miss Anis, okay, as it is involved with the autism children. Of course, it's a very challenging task, isn't it? That required a deep understanding of how you're going to interact with them, isn't it, Gabriel?
Yes, it's quite challenging as
Quite
none of
challenging,
us
isn't it? You need to learn first how to interact,
yes.
how to attract these autism children, all right? But then, based on your presentation just now, I can see that you and your friends, your team managed to carry out the program successfully. Great job, Gabriel, great job, Congratulations, great job. All right. Okay, so thank you guys for all the presentations. All right. So I think before we open for the Q&A sessions, I would like to ask you guys or want to know some of the kind of the details in terms of your program. Okay, so all right. Hannah, okay, I would like to ask you first, Hannah, okay. Hannah, earlier, you share your experience, right, with us just
Yes.
now preparing for the program. Okay. So I noticed that the lecturer's roles, okay, the lecturer's role in monitoring, right, and guiding each step taken by the student is very important, isn't it? Very, very important, okay, because yeah, the lecturer need to make sure that the preparations went well, isn't it?
Yes.
And so in your opinion, were all the preparations made sufficient to achieve the objective of the program based on your experience? Yeah, your Sulam project.
All right. So, in my case, we did receive the Sulam briefing early in our semester, which is on our first class during the course briefing. So my lecturer directly just tell us that at the end of our semester we need to do a Sulam project. So be prepared for it, something like that. So based
So
on
it's
that,
from the beginning, isn't it? From the beginning
yeah,
of the semester, the
yeah.
lecturer needs to give earlier instructions already, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But there are some cases like for my other Sulam project, there are some cases that my lecturer told us like almost at the mid-sem, then he or she told us that okay, actually we need to do a Sulam project this sem. So by time, sometimes it is quite rushed, but sometimes it is not. But I think it's better and it is very appropriate to like share it on the early of the semester because as for Dr. Juju, I've known her for a long time, like since I was first year, and she is the one of the person who are really well prepared, um, who is really well prepared in everything. So like she already told us that okay, we need to do a Sula project with this kind of community that she already find out, and it's just and other than just monitoring, like everything by means like she also provide us like a project timeline that we need to follow and other stuff. So I think that is
For
my
14 weeks, right? For
yes
14 weeks.
for
Yeah.
the 14 weeks. So like for my classes, the preparation, everything like the explanation about the program, all are complete and it doesn't make us any trouble to actually
Mm.
execute our time for this project. Yeah, it's
Mm.
actually very efficient lah.
Okay, very good. All right. So congratulations to Dr. Juju as well. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, what about you, Gab?
All right. In my case, of course, we need to have a lot of preparation. One of
Yeah,
the
because
thing
involved
that I
with the
remember,
autism kids, autism
yeah,
children,
because
right?
my project is currently very different from Hannah and
Yes,
Hanis.
yes, it
Right?
is.
Working with autism children, with zero knowledge, me and my team have a lot of things to do. One of it is to diving into the autism world itself, so that on that day we can approach and prepare suitable activities for them. As for the activities plan, I need to present it in the class to our lecturer and classmate first, and to receive what improvement should our team do. Of course, when we present it to our lecturers, of course there will be rejection or a lot of this. Even though after changing the ideas, there will be a lot of things needs to be changed to suit the project itself, so we can achieve our aim. That's from my side.
All right. Okay. Yeah. A lot of things need to do, need to think, isn't it, Gabriel?
Yes, it is.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Gab and Hannah. All right. Okay. Anis, I would like to ask you whether was the objective of the Sulam project? Okay. Clear to you from the beginning. What do you think?
For my case, for the program, especially in SK Jalan 4 Bangi, Dr. Juju as well would be informing to us why we are doing this sulam, why this for wild children, why for the subject vegetables. And in the beginning, before we start to planning, and also doctor will always back to the root when we are presenting our ideas. Like for example, when we present about our vertical garden system, why we choose bayam Brazil, and doctor would say, is this the vegetable that children dislike or like?
Because it's not all of the vegetable type is suitable, isn't it? Because they have
Yeah.
a different durations to be
Yeah.
harvested, isn't it, Anis? So it is
Yes.
crucial for you to determine, right, the correct types of the vegetables to be planted, isn't it, Anis?
Yes, very, very correct. And also, uh, for our demonstration, we plan to do a sandwich with bayam Brazil. Even that time also, doctor we reminded us, this bayam Brazil sometimes dia akan jadi lembek bila dipotong-potong. And that things we never expect. And doctor always things like that yang membuatkan kita akan terfikir, oh, children dia tak sesuai dengan benda ni. So kita akan sentiasa teringat semula tentang objektif kita buat program dengan siapa kita buat program.
Okay. Need to always make you think, isn't it? The suitability, yeah, kesesuaian kan? Alright, okay. Thank you, Anis. So now it's 1:41 already. I think I believe at this stage now all of us, the audience here, clear how each of the students was involved with this Sulam program, carry out their respective Sulam project. So I think maybe now I can open for questions or anyone, if anyone here has the questions to ask or to share or to discuss, please welcome, and feel free as well to type in the chat box. So any questions from the participants or the audience today? Kita boleh buka lah ya. Kalau ada apa-apa soalan ya pada hari ini nak bertanyakan kepada panel-panel speaker kita pada hari ini. Any questions? Any question? If no question, maybe I can continue to ask you guys some of the other questions kan, soalan ya. Alright. Okay, so Gap, I would like to know, alright, what was the most memorable or meaningful experience you had during the project, since you deal with the autism children?
All right, Doctor. Thank you for your question. Talking from experience, the most memorable moment for me during this project, the Green Thumb Tribes, is seeing the parents' brightest smile as they proudly watch their kids taking part in the activities. It was such a heartwarming sight during the day where myself, and I could really feel their joy and pride. Like, after all, which parent would not feel proud when they see their children making a progress, no matter how small it is? Sometimes even the smallest step means the world for them, especially when it shows how far their kids have come. So it's kind of sentimental to me until today.
Okay, yeah, sentimental to you, isn't it? Still
Yes,
remember
Doctor.
until today, isn't it? Very
Yeah.
memorable and unforgettable experience, isn't it? To deal with the autism children. Okay, I think Hannah, I think you have something is very interesting, isn't it? Because I heard before it's not really truly smooth, isn't it? When you want to do a presentations to share with your community, something happen, isn't it? Can you share with us,
Yes.
Hannah, your experience that make you feel?
Alright, so actually what happened is like it's kind of unexpected for my classes. Like before this, when we do a Sulam program, we have involved with community with different kind of communities in each of our Sulam projects. So for this product sharing, so during our presentation, especially my group, actually it was at my group during my presentation, I was just talking about the product, which is the lip oil product. Then there was this I would say Mr. Guy, a man, they just interrupted our presentation just like that. Like we were just talking at front, and then he claimed that what we're doing is something like not profitable, it's not good.
Wrong,
Why
they
would
say it's
yeah
wrong,
they was like
not
he was like
suitable.
oh, if we make this product, would anyone want to buy it, something like that. So but he claims it,
Kind of the negative thinking, eh?
yeah, he got that kind of negative thinking, but the way for me, it's okay to for him to have that thoughts, but the way he like interrupt our session and just say it out is kind of inappropriate, and most of my classmates was like being shocked with that situation, because we never thought that anyone would just say something like that to us as a
Hmm.
student. And also we also like mengaku yang they are part of the explanation is not twisted, but maybe they understand it wrongly. So
Yeah.
there are a bit misunderstanding at that time, and there
Hmm.
was a bit of like talking back and whatsoever. But then I saw that my lecturer, which is the Juju, give a like eye signal, like, okay, it's okay, just take the comment and
Hmm.
then just try to continue with what you're doing. So what I did is just I calm down my emotion, because uh all of the session, like 3 to 5 minutes, only negative comment datang bertubi-tubi kan. So my friend actually shocked, but I managed to like control my emotion and just say that just I would say like control the situation calmly and politely as
Polite,
possible
polite.
lah. Yeah, but at the end of the session, when we approached the guy, he was just okay
It's
with
okay.
us. He was just very okay with this. So we kind of like, okay,
Because he need to hear to you guys first, isn't it? Complete presentation. He interrupt you in the
yes,
middle of your presentation, isn't it?
yes, and that kind of things like we
Yeah,
cannot
doctor.
expect that.
Yeah,
Yes,
sorry. Anybody want
Oh,
to ask a questions?
hi. I'll ask my question later. Let
Oh,
oh,
her
okay.
oh,
finish
All right.
first.
okay, okay.
Okay, sure. Okay,
So
Hannah.
so like that is one of the thing that unexpectedly happened during our session. But at the end of our program, our lecturer actually told us like if anything we cannot expect only good things from the community. Sometimes they will
Yes.
talk back, sometimes that they will show you their
Mm,
true colors. So you need
mm,
to calmly try to control the situation well and try to moving on the next stage, something like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So you managed, isn't it? You managed to control your emotion during that time, isn't it, Hannah?
During
But
that
I
time,
think,
yes.
but I think because you had gone through similar situation before, because you joined more than one
Yes.
Sulam project, isn't it? So you were able to
Yes.
manage it well. So it really goes to show that practice makes perfect, isn't it?
Yes. A lot of experience actually taught you a lot.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you, Hannah. All right. So I heard somebody want to ask the questions just now.
Yeah, me.
All right. Okay. Maybe you can
Hello,
introduce
I'm Dr.
yourself.
Ng
You're
from
from
FPMK.
Dr. Ng
Can
from?
you hear me?
Yes, yes,
I'm
I can
Dr.
hear you
Ng
from
from FPMK. From
FBMK.
FPMK.
BMK. Okay.
Fakulty Bahasa Modern.
Bahasa Modern. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the sharing session. So, soalan saya kan tuju kepada semua speakers. Sebab my student, yang pun ada program sulam. So, soalan saya kan, adakah program sulam ni betul-betul membantu you untuk bina sikap tanggungjawab sosial? Ke you take it as a, apa tu kita kata, fulfillment untuk khusus ni je? Thank you.
Alright. Thank you, Dr. Ng. Okay. Semua speakers. So we start first Anis dulu. Jawab, Nis. Dr. Ng kata ni adakah sebab you nak dapat A, nak fulfill requirement untuk that course ke? Sejauh mana maksudnya? Sejauh mana?
Okay, untuk bagi pendapat saya, for doing sulam, during my first year, we haven't ada experience dengan sulam. Until we enter second year, I don't get the idea why we are doing sulam. And after the first sulam program, which is I think Dr. Juju class, this one that I'm presenting is the first sulam program together with my whole classmate. After the program ended, I realized that I'm getting closer to kita rasa lebih dekat dengan orang selain di dalam kampus. Macam mana saya nak kata?
Komuniti luar, ya. Masyarakat luar, komuniti luar. Bukan among you saja kan?
Ya, betul.
Kawan-kawan dalam kampus saja, ya.
Betul. Sebab di universiti, kita kalau kita belajar sama-sama, kita belajar dengan orang yang dah pernah belajar. Tapi bila pergi sulam, kita nak ajar orang yang tak pernah belajar pun tentang kita. So, kita tahu cara nak menyampaikan sesuatu dengan orang yang tak ada macam saya. Kita ambil pertanian. Jadi, bila kita nak bawa ilmu pertanian kepada orang lain, kita kena bentang dan explain dengan cara yang orang yang tak tahu
Boleh
pasal
faham,
pertanian.
cara lebih mudah kan?
Betul-betul.
Ah.
Jadi itu applicable.
That's why Ani, Doktor nak tahu kan, tanggungjawab sosial tu ada tak apa tu ditanam dalam hati? I mean, menerusi
Untuk tanggungjawab sosial tu dia macam kita rasa kita ada keperluan untuk berbakti semula je. Macam tu ke doktor?
Oh, okey, okey. Terima kasih. Betul, betul.
Macam
Impak pada jiwa awak lah maksudnya. Bukan sekadar you pergi tu untuk fulfill. Impak dekat jiwa. Tanggungjawab sosial. Tanggungjawab pada masyarakat. Sejauh mana impak tu di hati awak, pada diri awak. Macam tu kan Dr. Eng?
ada
Ya, ya, ya. Betul, betul.
sebab macam
Betul.
saya buat program dengan khusus kepada kanak-kanak sekolah rendah. Jadi bila kita buat program dengan mereka secara tidak langsung, kita akan ada bersembang dengan mereka secara personal. Dan ada beberapa pelajar yang datang kepada saya dan ceritakan kepada saya yang dia nak belajar kat sini tapi mak ayah dia tak bagi. So bila kita dengar cerita macam ni, kita rasa macam mereka perlukan kita untuk bagi panduan kepada kita. Kita perlu bagi panduan kepada mereka.
Tanggungjawab pada awak jugalah kan begitu. Untuk menyampaikan mereka terus pada mereka lah ya.
Betul-betul. Sebab
okey,
kita
okey.
rapat dengan mereka secara tak langsung semasa.
Secara tak langsung. Alright. Okey, terima kasih Hana. Mungkin Damia boleh share sikit apa yang Dr. Eng ni bertanya ya. Mungkin boleh share sikit Hana?
Alright, kalau saya rasa saya campur bahasa sikit Saya rasa benda
boleh.
tu boleh kata standard je untuk mana-mana pelajar. Mula-mula sebab saya pun start saya punya sulam projek waktu saya punya second year. And waktu tu sebab kita zero knowledge lagi pasal hasilan program, pasal nak communicate dengan community, tak kisahlah community tu masyarakat warga emas ke, dewasa bekerja ke, ataupun kanak-kanak sendiri. Memang awal-awal kita rasa macam, kenapa kita nak kena buat benda ni untuk diorang macam tu. Tapi kalau dekat set
Rasa
pertanian,
macam satu beban lah kan?
tak adalah kata beban
Tak
doktor,
beban
cuma
lah
sebab
ya?
sebab penat.
Oh penat.
Sebab penat.
Rasa terbeban lah dia penat. Nak kena buat banyak
Tapi
preparation semua kan?
Tapi tak adalah rasa macam buang masa je, tak adalah. Cuma classmate saya mostly kita macam neutral je untuk benda ni. Kita macam okay, buat-buatlah sebab ada subjek, lecturer dia letak sebagai okay, benda ni kita tak ada exam tapi kita ada program ni. So ini adalah keperluan markah korang. Okay, ada orang anggap sebagai markah tapi ada orang anggap dia buat ni sekadar nak fun-fun. Sebab ada orang dia tak boleh macam nak belajar setiasa tau. Dia nak ada something else juga. So dia bagi dia orang macam benda ni pun kira berbakti baliklah kepada rakyat sebab kita pun kalau macam kami, kalau student lain tak tahulah tapi kalau macam kami dekat set pertanian, kami antara subjek yang orang kata macam sekadar petani macam tu. So bila kita jumpa dengan community, kita share benda yang lebih daripada dia orang punya mentaliti pertanian, benda tu pun satu bagi benefit dekat dia orang, kedua benda tu pun sedikit sebanyak ubah persepsi mereka terhadap pelajar pertanian sendiri. Dan bagi kita orang benda tu adalah
selepas daripada
something
program
yang
sulam you buat tu, Damia, sejauh mana you rasa sikap you, tanggungjawab you towards terhadap masyarakat? Sejauh mana?
so far lebih lah saya dekat
Impak itu terhadap
sekarang.
jiwa awak, diri awak, setelah you melalui beberapa proses ataupun melaksanakan beberapa projek sulam.
Sekarang ni kami sendiri di tahap yang mana kalau ada projek sulam ke projek bukan sulam dengan komuniti sekalipun, kami boleh join secara rela hati. Bukan sekadar sebab ni kita orang ada exam minggu depan kita orang tak nak join. Tak ada. Sekarang di tahap yang ada projek, ada doktor cari student nak buat projek. Okay, jom kita pergi buat macam tu.
Maksudnya awak secara rela hati lah kerana impak tu you merasakan bahawa ilmu yang awak ada tu you rasa tanggungjawab nak share dengan mereka kan. Apa-apa yang you belajar dekat UPM ni kan.
Yes. Kiranya apa yang kami belajar tu kira tak ada rahsia lah.
Memberi
macam
kesan
tu.
positif lah maknanya Dr. Eng daripada program sulam itself Dr. Eng. Okay, Gap, mungkin you boleh share sikit Gap?
Yeah, thank you.
Most welcome,
nak share
Doktor.
sikit. Gap last maybe a short sharing with you since masa kita nak tamat dah Gap.
Alright, Doctor, thank you. Saya rasa saya setuju dengan Hana. Berbalik lagi kepada slogan UPM, berilmu berbakti. So when adalah menjadi satu tanggungjawab kita sebagai student juga.
Berilmu berbakti yang mencapai lah kan.
Betul. Bila kita macam ada ilmu tu jangan remind kita je. Sebab
boleh berbakti
my lecturer
kan?
pertanian selalu remind, baliklah ke kampung, pergilah ke pelosok dunia, bagi ilmu tu kepada orang lain. So bila dah dapat sulam ni, at first saya fikir macam markah je untuk markah je. But end up during the process it develop myself. Dia macam fikir kita akan automatically akan berfikir rasa ini adalah tanggungjawab kita sendiri. And personally it has changed my view towards autism children. Where first saya anggap semua autism ni macam sama aje. But end up they have a very lot of characteristic, and to understand each one, especially during the program, it's quite macam memenatkan, but it's dalam hati tekan rasa macam enjoy, kepuasan yang
Enjoy.
ah
So
macam
get
yeah.
dah tolak tepi dah kan. Tak kisahlah A ke B ke C ke, dah tak kira lah kan grade tu kan. Dah you just focus to that program dah kan.
Yes, but when we doing the project, the sulam dengan rela hati, rasa macam projek tu akan berjalan dengan lancar je. End up dapat A.
Enak dapat
Itulah
A
macam
lah
technically,
kan.
yes. And rasanya
Right.
macam kalau diberi peluang untuk ke hadapan, rasanya nak bekerja dengan komuniti lain-lain jugalah.
Komuniti lain lagi. You lagi
Yeah.
makin bersemangat lagi kan. Nak berkhidmat, memberi ni kepada komuniti. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
Saya harap menjawab apa untuk Dr. Eng ya tadi, Dr. Eng. Line tak berapa ni. Okay, mungkin ada Dr. Eng. Thank you, Dr. Eng. Mungkin ada satu lagi.
Thank you.
Thank you juga untuk Dr. Eng. Mungkin one more question. Very short question then with a very short answer. Mungkin kita ada, boleh saya buka satu lagi soalan? Ada apa-apa persoalan kepada tiga panel kita pada hari ini? Panel gitu korang ya. Ada ke? Kalau saya tak ada nampak apa-apa di chat juga ya. So, okay. So, saya rasa kita boleh tutup lah ataupun sedikit ya. So, do you think all students ni, among korang ni, adakah you all rasa sebelum pelajar students bergraduate, adakah you rasa setiap student perlu melalui, perlu ada pengalaman dengan sulam ni? Mungkin pendek daripada setiap korang. Okay, Anis?
Saya rasa memang perlu student sebelum graduate untuk lalui sulam.
Ada pengalaman, alright.
Dia bukan benda yang kita boleh dapat dalam kelas.
Interesting bagus. Padat dan terkesan di hati saya tak boleh belajar, tak boleh dapat dalam kelas. Okay, very good. Hana?
Kalau kat saya pun memang, saya rasa semua orang setuju. Memang apa yang kita belajar dekat sulam ni tak sama dengan kat kelas. Dan
Betul.
lain tu, saya pun boleh belajar kenal masyarakat. Dan kata kita belajar untuk orang kata betul-betul implementkan apa yang kita belajar dalam kelas dengan dekat real life. Sebab memang mostly projek sulam yang saya pernah buat, yang mostly kita menyelesaikan masalah yang ada dekat komuniti tu sendiri. So,
betul. Yang melibatkan komponen pelajar, komponen community, kan? Berinteraksi yang kedua-keduanya dan boleh dalam setengah projek juga melibatkan pihak industri, kan?
Dan paling penting, dia membina juga pribadi pelajar tu sendiri.
Ya, betul. Okay, Gab.
Alright. Kalau dari saya sendiri, Doktor, sulam ni sangatlah wajib. At least sekali. At least sekali sepanjang semester tu.
Once, the whole of the semester.
It's for like, singkat dan padat je, character development.
Character development. Alright. Character development. Alright. So, thank you. Alright. So, as we come to the end of our session today, we'd like to sincerely thank to our three speakers today, alright, for their thoughtful and inspiring, inspiring sharing. So, their stories have given us a clear and meaningful understanding of what sulam, is all about. Not just a program, but as a valuable experience that connects academic knowledge, all right, and with the real community needs, all right. So I think we hope that I myself and all of the three speakers today, we hope that today's session has sparked ideas and inspirations, for how sulam can continue to be part of our teaching and learning journey as our lecturers, in ways that are relevant, impactful, and enriching for everyone involved. So let us continue to support and promote the spirit of sulam, not just an academic requirement, but as a transformative approach to education that benefits to both the students and the communities we serve. All right. So with that, thank you once again for joining us today. So stay inspired, stay committed, and may we continue to learn, serve, and grow together. All right. Okay. Thank you, and have a wonderful day, everyone. All right. Thank you. So I end the session today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Terima kasih korang.